Hi everyone and welcome to today's video. This is a B1 level mathematics lesson, and today we're going to be talking about fractions and decimals. So what is a decimal and how can you read this number? Well, to the left of the decimal point we have the ones, the tens, the hundreds, and the thousands. And to the right of the decimal point we have the tenths, the hundredths, and the thousands. So to read this number, it would be 5,734 and 912 thousandths. So when we read a decimal, we read each number after the decimal point individually. So 3.14 or 0.0 or 0.075. So try and practice reading these numbers below, and then you can restart when you're ready to continue. Okay, letter A is 1.25, 46.103, 350.98, 0.089, and 0.7. All right, so look at the picture and what is the measurement? So over here we have a measurement of weight and over here of length. And to round means to replace a number with another number of approximately the same value but with fewer digits. So what do you think it means to round up or to round down? So look at the measurements below. Can you round them to the nearest hundredths place or to the nearest tenths place? All right, so if we look at each of these, 2.542, the nearest hundredths place would be the 4. So because the 2 is less than 5, so this could round to 2.54 would be the nearest hundredths place. The nearest tens place would just be 2.5. 6.789 would be 6.79 if we're rounded to the hundredths place, and 6.8 to the thousandths place. And 105.327 to the hundredths place would be 105.33, so we'd round up because of the 7 here. And to the tens place, it would be 105.3 because the 27 we would round down. All right, and a fraction is a way to talk about part of a whole. So we can express this with pictures or with a number line, a fraction bar, or a fraction circle, or you can write fractions in this fashion. So let's look at the pizza. A whole pizza is 8 out of 8 slices. So how much of the pizza did your family eat? So your family ate 6/8 slices of pizza. That can be simplified to 3/4. So your family ate 3/4 of the pizza. All right, so we'll look at the fraction below. The top number is the numerator. The bottom number is the denominator. And here's some fractions: 1/3, 2/3, 1/4 or 1/4, 3/4, 1/2, 3/2, or 1 1/2. And to say a fraction, you first say the top number or the numerator. And if the denominator is a 2, use the word halves. If the denominator is a 3 or higher, use the ordinal number, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, etc. If the denominator is 4, you can also use the word quarter. And if the numerator is plural, meaning 2 or more, you must add an s to the denominator. So for example here, 2 thirds. All right, so all of these fractions are equivalent to a half. So what is the fraction and how do you read it? So here we would have 1/2. Here we have 2 out of 4, so 2/4. 3 out of 6, so 3/6. And here we have 4 out of 8, so 4/8. And here we have 5 out of 10, or 5/10. So all of these fractions still represent 1/2 of the pizza when you add them all together. All right, now practice reading this recipe aloud. You can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. All right, so we have 1 cup of flour, 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 cup of banana mashed, about 1 1/2 bananas, 1 large egg, and 3/4 cup milk. All right, so now see if you can write each of these numbers. Pause the video, try it on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. So number 1 is 97, 35, so 8 ninths, 2 thirds, 38, a third, 3 halves, 15, and 1200. So a fraction can be changed to a percentage. So to read percentages, we say the number and then the word percent. So 1/2 is equal to 50%. So if we practice reading the percentages below, we have 25%, 75%, 33%, 99.9%, and 43.38%. All right, now try to match the percentages with the interesting facts. Try these on your own and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. All right, so the first one is about 90% of people live in the northern hemisphere. About 59% of the world's population, wait, no, sorry, not 59%. Number 2 is E. 59% is they speak more than one language. Okay, so number 3, 50.4% of the population is male, of the world's population. And number 4, it is estimated that 33% of households in the world have pets. And letter D, 10% of people in the world are left-handed. All right, so now you can listen as I'll read these numbers. So 4,400,000, 4%, 14%, 1,400, 1/4, 14, 40.4, 14.04. All right, so now try to complete each sentence with one of the words from these boxes. Again, you can pause the video, try this on your own, and then restart when you're ready to check your answers. All right, so number one is you can simplify 2/8 by changing it to 1/4. If you round 3.89 to the nearest whole number, it becomes 4. 1/3 is a fraction. 0.33 is a decimal. 33% is a percentage. 2 is a whole number. And 1/2 is a part of a whole. All right, now we'll read about two different types of fractions. A proper fraction is a fraction whose numerator is less than its denominator. And an improper fraction is a fraction whose numerator is equal to or greater than its denominator. And improper fractions can also be written as mixed numbers. So as for example, 3/2 could be 1 1/2. 1 1/2. So are these fractions proper or improper? So 1/8 is a proper fraction. 2/5 proper. 1/3 proper. 8/3 improper. And 5/2 improper. All right, so now you're going to try to match the fractions with their decimal and percentage equivalents and then read them out loud. An equivalent is a thing that is equal in value. So for example, 1/4 is equal to 0.25 and 25%. So go ahead and try those on your own, and then you can restart when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, so 3/4 is equal to 0.75, which is equal to 75%. 1/2 is equal to 0.5, which is equal to 50%. 1/3 is equal to 0.33, which is equal to 33%. And 1/5 is equal to 0.2, which is equal to 20%. All right, so now you can look at the chart and answer the questions. So what was the average price of a home in 1960? So here we can see it was $12,900. What was the average price of a home in 2020? Well, it was $410,800. And what was this percentage increase from 1980 to 1990? So in 1980 it was 68,700, and 1990 it was 123,000. So that is a 79% increase. And what was the largest percentage increase, and what was it? So the largest one here is 192.96%, and that is between 1970 and 1980. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please like, subscribe, share, leave a comment, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.